Welcome to the Beauty Growth Academy Unleash podcast. This is a podcast that helps you grow your hair, beauty, or aesthetic business. This is the podcast that gives you all the advice that you need to help you become a successful beauty entrepreneur. We're not taught how to track our figures, be full-time content creators, find new clients, and actually learn how to enjoy the journey, where me and guest speakers unpack how you can do this and more. If you are an aspiring and ambitious beauty business owner, this is the podcast for you. I hope you enjoy the show. Beckie.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I am really excited to hear your journey.
I'm excited to tell you.
Oh, let's get into it then. Let's bloody do it. So let's start with, how did you first get into the beauty industry? It's mainly nails, isn't it, that you do now? But talk me through how you got into this.
Right. So I first started, my mum's a hairdresser.
Okay.
So growing up, she was a single mum. Growing up, I was always dragged to the salon, which actually when I was younger, I absolutely hated. But then as I got older, I became a Saturday girl in one of the salons she worked in, and I was just there all the time. But I did used to say when I was younger, I'm never working in a salon. I never want to do that because I hated it because I was there so much. But I think naturally you kind of become what you're surrounded with, and if you're in a salon all the time, you end up participating and wanting to do it. So then I left school, did nothing for about a year, I'd say. I was about 17 when I went to college to do beauty therapy. Just didn't really know what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to do hair, do beauty, anything. So went to college, did my NVQ2, and literally fell in love with beauty and was like, this is it, this is what I want to do. And then I did my NVQ3. Then I did a foundation degree in media makeup, and then I just went out into the industry on my own. Now, my mum was always self-employed. She's never worked for anyone else, so I always had the mindset of, I don't want to ever work for anybody. So yeah, just went straight into it, did beauty mobile. At first, used to go to people's houses. Remember sitting on the floor sometimes, doing nails, walking to people's houses and they didn't have a table, for instance, and you'd be like, oh. But I just got on with it. Then got sick of doing mobile, got a little bit older, I'd say a couple of years after, maybe about 19, 20, started working from my home. So did a spare bedroom out, worked from home, had a home salon. And then the demand just grew and grew and grew. And we had quite a lot of complaints about the amount of cars that were in and out of the street because of the amount of clients, and realised it was time to go into a salon. So off I went and rented a desk. I did that in 3 different salons, and then finally opened my own salon.
Wow. So when you was in college then, you said you was doing beauty therapy. Obviously in beauty therapy, level 2 and 3, you learn like your basic manicure, pedicure, usually like waxing. I don't know if you do lash lift. I did my level 2 and 3 beauty therapy, but I did it way after. I did it when I was like 26. I paid privately and did it. So you moved more into nails though, didn't you?
Yeah, and the funniest part of this story is at the time when I was training at college, I didn't actually like nails.
Did you not?
I wanted to do special effects makeup for film and television, which is why I did the degree, which I did do bits of in and out. I did stuff for like Booper, did different commercials, short films, stuff like that. But I quickly found out that industry is quite male orientated.
Okay.
A lot of the famous artists are actually men, and it's really hard to break into that industry as a woman. At the time I was doing nails just because the demand was there, but I didn't actually like doing it in the beginning. I liked doing makeup more, so I went and I'd say I did like maybe 2 days a week doing beauty, and I used to do waxing, eyebrows, lashes, everything that you could think of beauty-wise, nails as well. And then I started doing bridal makeup, so I tried to focus on bridal makeup for quite a couple of years actually, and did quite well with it. I got into quite a lot of magazines and stuff for doing it, but obviously it was only seasonal work, mainly. It was in the summer, and it was mainly Saturdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd say. And I was like kind of thinking, this ain't going to be sustainable when you have kids, when you want a family, when you want to take a step back from work. You can't just work 3 days a week. And then I just got more and more nail clients completely by accident. Started falling in love with nails when I'd say more when I went into the nail salon, because I was kind of pushed into only doing nails, really.
Okay, so you went into just a nail salon.
Yeah, because
one of them
there
three
wasn't
salons.
really the space to do everything else.
Okay.
I rented the room off her as well as the nail desk, but just gradually just ended up doing more and more nail clients, and then was like, hang on a minute, actually, I really do like this now. And it's just naturally, it was never the plan to just have a nail salon.
Yeah.
It's just happened.
Okay, so you started doing more nails. Are we talking acrylic, biab
Yeah, so
gel?
back in the day.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, the biab stuff that's out now wasn't there 10 years
So
ago.
back in the day, it was shellac,
Yes, I remember.
which is not really used now, and acrylic.
Yeah, okay.
The big, long acrylics with all the gems on and all the Swarovskis, and that was
And
the thing,
we've gone through so many phases. Like the square's back again now, isn't it?
Yep.
And bring coffin back, please, because they were my favourite.
Yeah, I used to do loads of those.
I fucking love coffin.
Just all day I'd be doing
No one has them
acrylics.
now, though.
No, they don't. No.
It's got that almond and stuff, hasn't it? Which,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so you went to work in a salon then that just did nails, pretty much.
Yeah, predominantly.
And then you kind of started to find your passion there.
Yeah.
So when it came to you opening your own salon, what made you make the decision to do that? Because for some people, staying and renting a desk or renting a room is the more attractive option because they don't want the responsibility of the overheads of a salon. What was it that kind of made you think, no, I want my own place?
I'm quite particular about the way things are done and where things are. And I feel like when you work in a salon with the last salon that I worked with was amazing, but it was so big. There was so many people working there, and I just felt really ready to have my own space and to do it the way that I wanted to do it. I think as well, the training side, I wanted my own space to train, to be able to you've got more freedom, haven't you, when you've got your own salon, and you can kind of do what you want to do when you want to do it without having to run it by somebody else. So that was the reason behind going, but I was so sad to leave that team of people because I loved them. I loved working with them every day. They were an amazing team to work with. I still talk to them now, we're still friends. But yeah, I'd say for a long time it was something that I wanted to do, and I didn't do it because I didn't want to leave that team.
Yeah, it was like a bittersweet thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
'cause you
I love
spend-
them and I don't want to leave, but also I've got this desire to have my own space and my own
That's
creativity.
exactly what it was like, yeah.
Well, at least you did it though, and you bit the bullet. So talk me about your current salon then, the setup. Do you have staff?
Yep, so we've got 3 nail desks.
Yep.
So we've got one full-time girl that works near enough if she opened her diary 7 days a week, she'd be completely full.
Really? Is she employed or self-employed?
She's self-employed.
Okay.
And then we've got part-time, she does about 4 days. Then we've got another girl, she's the same part-time, does about 3-4 days. And then there's me as well trying to fit into that. So we all sort of desk share, and then we've got a brow tech that just specialises in brows, and then we've got a lash and brow tech. So she does sort of like more natural lashes, so LVL and brows.
Okay, I love that. So what kind of setup do you have when it comes to your team? Do you all work like set days? Is there someone does like certain days? You know, when you're saying like you have 3 nail desks, but then is there like 4 people that do nails? And then you got your brow girls and lash girls. How does it work?
Yeah, so everyone has set days, just so that I kind of know who's there on what day. So they all have set days. We're on Timely booking system, so they've all got access to their own diary. Yep.
We
Woo,
love Timely.
Team Timely.
We work with Timely. We're partnered with them.
They've all got their own booking system that they can access, but it's all combined onto the salon page. So everyone's just on set days, and then they come in that day and they work on that day.
Got it. Have you found it easy to find staff for the salon? Because I think a lot of people find it challenging.
So I've been very, very lucky, and I am very grateful to all my staff who will probably listen to this. So thank you, girls.
She daren't say otherwise.
Everybody that works in the salon, bar one girl at the minute, is trained by me. So
wow.
I feel like on the nail side, if you've got everybody that's trained to your standard, nothing can go wrong because you know that they're going to work to what you've taught them to do. The brow girls are not trained by me, but they're to a very good standard.
Yeah. So you're happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. The beauty industry is always evolving, and business owners need to think about being content creators as well. How have you managed to find the balance of having your own business, doing treatments, having a team, and then doing social media as well? Because it's not easy, is it?
So there is a tool on Instagram that you can use to schedule your posts.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice to anybody would be sit down once a week, schedule your post for the week.
For the week, yeah.
Because then you're not having to think about it day to day, and you can concentrate on juggling salon life, home life, your own time. But before the scheduling tab came about,
was a thing, yeah.
it was really difficult because you're trying to remember to post, and you've got to post at a set time. And obviously in real life you might be running around the house in the morning trying to get your kids ready for school, and then you're thinking, oh, it's whatever time I need to post at this time. And it was really difficult, but I definitely think scheduling the posts is much easier. I think keeping on top of DMs is quite difficult. Depending on what level you're getting them on, we get quite a few on the salon page, the academy page, and then there's my nail page.
I was going to say, how do you separate them? We'll get into that.
Sometimes it can take me a few days to reply, but I try and reply as quickly as possible, because I feel like when people are popping into your inbox, 9 times out of 10, if you don't give them that answer within a couple of hours, they go on to the next person. So I do think you've got to be quite fast with it.
Yeah. What was it that made you want to start training in nails?
So what made me want to start training in nails is I was getting, before I was accredited to teach, I was getting people wanting to come for a one-to-one session, which I was offering, but there was no qualification in it. And a lot of these girls were coming from different beauty academies or different beauty colleges. And I remember sat there thinking, what are you being taught? Because these are horrendous.
Right.
The level of education that they were getting was just not up to standard, and I was just thinking, this is not right. Like, the girls are paying privately for these courses, and they're not getting what they should be getting. Like, I was thinking, why have they trained them to do that? That's completely wrong. You'd never do that. I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to go and get my teaching qualification, and I'm going to offer the training myself.
Yeah. Do you know when you was doing the training, because obviously you did it in college, did you like self-teach, you know, with like the acrylic, for example, or did you go on a course with somebody? How did you get better at what you was doing?
So when I was in college, I learned basic manicure, pedicure. We were taught acrylic. Yeah. And actually, when some of the girls I still speak to now, even after all these years, that were on that course with me, and we laugh and joke that I sort of used to go around and help those people.
So I
feel like it was always in me, wanting to help and guide people. And it was also something that I thought I picked up quite easily. But a lot of the nail stuff I'm self-taught.
So you just like, what do you like to do with nails? What's your favourite thing? Is it a basic set? Is it art? Is it...
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I don't know. I really love doing nail art, providing we've got enough time booked out.
Yeah.
French is really popular. I really enjoy doing French. I feel like acrylics are coming back in now. I've done quite a few sets of acrylics over the past couple of weeks, and I really enjoyed doing those. Although I wouldn't want to go back to doing acrylics constant, like I used to do. I'd say the nail art. So sometimes when you've got a client in that's having nail art, you'll be really excited when you're doing the set. You'll be thinking, oh, I can't wait to paint them, because it's exciting, it's nice, it's fun. I really enjoy it.
How have you like built your client base? Has that been something that's taken a long time to do, or have you got a long-term client base now that's been with you for years?
Yeah, so I've got some people that have been with me about 10 years.
Wow.
Some when I've sort of moved around, some have sort of dropped off and then come back when I've been in a different location. A couple of them have been with me for quite a long time, which is nice because they've seen the industry evolve as well, and they've seen things change, and we'll laugh and say, oh, do you remember when you used to do these big long square things, and now they have a dead short square biab. So that's nice to see. I'm not really sure how I've built the clients up, to be honest. I think it's just down to your skill set and also your people skills, because no matter how good you are at nails, I think if somebody's coming to you and they're sat in front of you for an hour, however long it takes you, if you're not building up that reputation to be a nice person and be inviting and making people feel comfortable, I feel like no matter how good you are, they might not come back. So I think it's just about really good customer service and as well as your skills.
Do you find that you're always booked up in advance and your girls are booked up in advance? Do you have a busy salon?
Yeah, so the girls are booked up Me and Abby are booked up months in advance. So we only open our diary now 8 weeks in advance, because if I opened it any longer, people would fill the diary and the regulars would struggle to get in. So we open 8 weeks in advance. Me and Abby are fully booked, can't really take on any more clients. We try and get the regulars in, and then the other girls, I'd say a couple of weeks in advance, they're fully booked. So yeah.
What do you think your clients would say? What reasons do you think they would give why they come to your salon? If you was to ask one of your regulars, if you said, like, what's 3 things that you love about the salon, what do you think they'd say?
We actually asked this question last week, and they said, we started asking a couple of people. So one lady said that it's like being in a barber shop, but a women's version, a female version, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
One other lady said that they quite like that it's a little bit of a smaller environment. So it's not a big, huge salon. It is quite small. But they said that they find it really comfortable and everyone's really friendly. Everyone tends to say the same thing, which is really a really nice feeling.
Yeah, and I think as well, I've interviewed so many different beauty business owners, nails, hair, beauty, aesthetics, everything. I think ultimately it really does come down to the salon environment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, clients are so big on how they feel when they walk into a salon, and I've got a salon and my salon's huge, as in, like, when you walk in there's a big entrance, it's like 2,800 square foot building and it's quite grand. However, when you walk in my salon, it's just like walking into a normal place. Do you know what I mean? As in the vibe of it. I didn't want to go for that grand prestige feeling inside. I want to go for come in and put your slippers on. And sit down with your hairdresser and walk it. Some of our clients just walk in the kitchen and go and grab a coffee out the coffee machine. And it's like, we love that because it's like a home from home. And I think it's really important. I'm not saying that there's not a place for prestige salons and salons that are more, I don't know, like prim and proper, because there's definitely a place for them. But for me, it's more about comfort and home and family. And it sounds like your clients kind of get that vibe as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
In your time as a business owner so far, so being a salon owner, what kind of challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them?
I think the main one would be getting the right staff and getting the right team together.
Yeah.
When I take somebody on, for me, it's not just about how good they are at nails. It's more about, are they going to fit the vibe? Are they going to fit with the clients? And is the team going to be happy? Because I think the minute that you upset your team, this is where the bonds start breaking down, and then people are, not maybe feeling like, I don't want to go to work because she's annoying me or anything like that. So for me, the biggest challenge is making sure that people fit into the team and fit the vibe. I've been so lucky with the team. So lucky.
Where do you find your team members?
They're all ex-students.
Okay, so straight from college pretty much.
So normally it will be somebody that I've trained from start. They'll come in, do a beginner's nail course, and usually on that course, as I'm watching them work, I'll be thinking, I'd give you a job.
You're grooming them. You know what I mean?
I would be thinking, watching I can see the potential.
Yeah.
So if I see that within them, I will say, do you want a job, basically? And they either say yes or no.
And like you say, for you, it's not so important that they've got the big client bases or that that they're amazing at nails. It's more of a willingness, a dedication, and like a personality thing. Do you help them build their client bases up then? Okay, so because you're so well known, do you get a lot of client inquiries?
Yeah, so we get quite a lot of clients, quite a lot of client inquiries. A lot of the time people... Well, we've just taken another girl on now. So a lot of the time people would say, I want to come, but I can never get in. Yeah. And I think as much as that's a great thing, I also think it's a bad thing, because then you don't want people sort of saying,
oh, you can never get in there. And then, then no one tries to book. Because then they kind
of think, oh, I'm not even going to bother. They're always really busy.
You are a mum to a little boy, and you have grown a business whilst also being a single mum to your son. How do you split your time between like being a salon owner, doing training for people, having these staff, and being a single mum as well? Like, how does that work for you?
Right, so
no one's got it figured out.
No, I'm just winging it.
Yeah,
which I think everybody is winging it. I think people are maybe not as honest as they should be about winging it. I think sometimes people will say that they've got this sort of game plan, but I am honestly just winging it, and I definitely think there's lots of trial and error working out what works and what doesn't work. School holidays obviously are always really hard work because childcare.
Do you have much support?
Not really. No, not really. So I'd say normally on my working days, I will work. So I normally teach on a Monday. Tuesday I'll do clients. School holidays finish. I will be taking Wednesdays and Thursdays completely off.
Okay.
Wednesday will be my admin day and my content day.
Yeah.
To get everything scheduled, everything posted. And then Thursday, all being well, is going to be my day for me.
Okay.
To do what I need to do, just anything for me, really. And then clients Friday and Saturdays. So I think it's just working out the balance of how it can work. When my little boy normally goes to an after-school club 2 to 3 days a week. So if he's at the after-school club, that's the day that I'll sort of work till maybe 5 o'clock, go pick him up. And then when I pick him up, I think it's really important to finish, sort of sign off whatever you're doing for the day, reply to the messages that you need to before you pick them up, and then your phone's got to go away.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, because otherwise I find that you are constantly working, especially when it's your business. It's really hard to switch off and shut down, I think.
I agree. Do you ever, like, your son's like 8 now, isn't he? So I'm presuming he likes his Xbox and PlayStation and stuff. Do you ever grab those moments when he's on that to do a bit of work and catch up, or
yeah,
do you?
Sometimes. So he likes his iPad, but he doesn't tend to go on his iPad that much. So I find it's
so then you
quite
don't want to
difficult
push him into it either, do you? Obviously.
Because he prefers to do things like be outdoors.
Yeah.
He likes to go on bike rides. He likes to run. Anything that involves burning energy.
Yeah.
So that definitely keeps me on my toes. But if he was on his iPad, for instance, for maybe half an hour, he tends to get a bit bored on it. So he'll do maybe half an hour, and then I might quickly pick up any messages that I've left off. But normally the iPad time would be when I'm kind of cooking tea.
Yeah, okay. So you really make a point of prioritising that time when you're with your son. It's like, try and get everything done, ticked off, and that is my time to be a mum. Did you find it hard when you was opening the salon? Because obviously you have to get the salon ready and open it, and then you've got a child as well. Do you think that balance kind of...
Yeah, so he spent lots of time in the salon with me, trying to help.
He might be a salon owner, you never know.
Well, you never know. Trying to help. We had lots of Chineses on the sat on the floor when we was opening it, doing it out and stuff. But he's quite easygoing, so as long as he's busy and you give him a job, sometimes if I do have to take him into the salon, say if I had to call in for half an hour to sort something out and he was with me, if it was, I don't know, if I had a weekend off with him, he'd come with me. As long as you give him a job, he's quite
busy.
helpful.
So,
he really likes
busy.
organising things, as long as he's busy.
Is your mum still in the industry?
No, she's not.
Is she not? Oh, okay. What are you most proud of when it comes to your business and what you've created?
I'm most proud of, I'd say, building the atmosphere in the salon, that especially from the feedback that we got a couple of weeks ago, that people feel like they could be passing and they'd just call in even if they haven't got an appointment,
really?
Which I love that. Just creating that safe space that people can come, feel like it's a home from home sort of thing. I think we've got quite a good reputation.
It sounds like you have.
I think all the staff have got a really good reputation. It's a really nice feeling to have built that, to know that it's making people happy. Yeah.
I love that. What kind of plans have you got for the future with the salon and just your role in general?
I'd like to open another salon, another nail salon.
An additional one?
Yeah, an additional one. I'm always being asked if there's any jobs, which at the minute, no, there isn't now. We're at full capacity.
Yeah, but you've got clients waiting, so it's like...
we've got clients waiting, so I'd like to train some more girls up, open another salon and extend the academy.
Yeah.
Maybe get another teacher, but maybe speak to my girls, see if any of them want to teach. Yeah.
Is there many salons that do what you do in your area?
Yeah, there's
a lot.
Yeah.
But you've still built up a really good reputation. What advice would you give to someone who's just opening up a salon similar to yours, for example? Make
sure if you're doing it that you genuinely enjoy it, because I think if you don't have 100% heart and soul into it, there's no way that you can put your all into it. I think if you enjoy what you're doing, you'll definitely do a better job of it. My advice would be, get ready for the sleepless nights, the hard work that's got to go into it. As much as one side of it is amazing, it can also be very stressful. So just make sure that you're buckled up and you're ready to go, because it is hard work, but it is very rewarding.
Yeah. What would you say are your top tips for getting new clients?
Oh, my top tips for getting new clients would be make sure that you are posting on social media, but when you're posting, you're not just posting anything and everything. You've got to sort of make sure that what you're posting is going to engage with your followers and your clients, for instance. Make sure that what they're seeing is kind of what they want. I'd definitely say the biggest form of our advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah.
We forever hear, how did you hear about us? Oh, my cousin comes, or my next door neighbour's been, so-and-so's said that you're amazing. I'd say we don't really advertise on any of the sort of, is it the booking?
Google and all the booking
we
stuff.
We don't really tend to do any of that. It is just from word of mouth and from Instagram.
Yeah, I love that. You said earlier that you have like content days, or you'll sit and schedule your content for the week ahead. Do you spend time during the week getting the pictures of the content to then sit and put it together, or do you do it in the same day?
Yeah, so I would say, but obviously this doesn't work unless if you're back to back and you've got no lunch break, you're running over with your clients. Sometimes it doesn't work, and the last thing that you're going to think to do is start taking pictures if you're 10 minutes over your next client. But if you've got a nice calm day, I always say to the girls, and I do this as well, try and take pictures and videos of every single set, because then you can just scroll through and you can sort of go through and think, oh yeah, that's going to work, delete that, that's rubbish, the lighting's bad, that's great. And I find at the end of the week, we've got enough to make the reels, do the content.
And you do all of that stuff as well?
Yeah.
Do you have any top tips for nail techs that want to, like, let's say there's a new nail tech and they want to get pictures of the client's hands? Is there a specific kind of way that you do it so you can get the good picture?
I'll tell you what not to do.
Okay.
This.
Don't claw in words.
None of this, because they just look like...
Yeah, okay, got it. So if they're watching, they can see this, but if they're listening...
None of this, guys.
Like, don't put all the fingers inwards and take the picture where you can see the palm of the hand in it, basically.
And I'd say none of this, because I think on pictures it can look a bit like...
I've got no nails on. Like, this is the first time in 10 years I've had no nails on. I'm having a nail break until next week. Like, literally, my nails are ruined. Anyway, but okay, I'll be the worst model in the world at the minute.
Yeah, none of this, because I think you're not focused... When you post that on Instagram, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I think one hand sort of holding the hand.
One hand
and make sure that your angles are right. It's all about your angles when you're taking the pictures. You're getting the free information now, guys. Make sure that the nails are in the centre of the screen. So have your grids on your camera and make sure that sort of this area is central.
Okay, because you can put your grid up on your camera, can't you? Okay, that's a really good tip. Do you always make sure you've got like good lighting, backgrounds, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, good lighting, check your camera settings. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the new iPhones, but I do believe that this is just down to your settings. So just play around with your settings. Depends what lights you've got in the salon. Don't be scared to like change things and have a go with things.
You do see them doing different pictures and stuff, and I'm sure that I just thought, I bet there's got to be a knack to it. There's got to be. So yeah, no, that's really useful. Tell me more about your training academy then. So I know we've touched on it briefly, but we touched on why you wanted to do it, because you felt like people weren't getting the right training. What kind of nail courses do you offer? Is it online? Is it in person? Are they for a couple of days? How does it work?
So I've got complete beginner courses. We've got refresher courses. We've got courses for people that are in the industry that might just be struggling on certain techniques, want to sort of brush up on the skills. We do acrylic, builder gel, gel polish, manicure, pedicure. I've got a toenail reconstruction masterclass. That's online, so that's for anyone can join it. It's not accredited, so you wouldn't get a qualification.
But you get the education.
But you get the education, you get the skills.
Are you busy pretty much as well with like students and
and really
teaching
busy.
people?
Nail art as well, which again anyone could come and learn. But I'd say we get more nail techs coming in that just I'll tell them pick 10 designs you want to learn, and they'll just bring 10 pictures, and then we'll just sit for a couple of hours, going through it, showing them how to do it.
Do you know, for newly qualified nail techs, do you believe in discounting prices to get started and build a client base? What's your thoughts in that?
Yeah, so my advice to all my students is do your first 10 clients at a discounted rate, and then once you've done the 10, providing that you're working to a good standard, your price has then got to get up, because I think it's very easy to end up in a bit of a rut with your clients, undercharging, and then when people get used to that, they kind of don't want to pay any more.
Yeah.
So I always say set a number, say 10 normally.
Yeah.
And after 10 sets, I think the most important thing with the training side, if they're a newly qualified nail tech, you only get good at this skill if you are constantly doing it. So it's no good doing a nail course and waiting 3 months and then doing your practice sets, because you're going to have forgot your skill, especially with it being something so new. So I'd say do your training course and just gather as many people as possible, and just do sort of, it'd be ideal if they could do one every day, really.
I always say as well to people that have just started out, I mean, everybody, you don't have to wait for clients to practice. With nails, you can practice your beading. I mean, I'm not a nail tech, but you can practice your beading, you can get the hands, you can do your own, one of your own hands.
Absolutely,
There's it's no good sitting around and going, I can't practice because I haven't got any clients. Like, no, the more you practice without clients is going to help you get clients, because you're going to get better. Also, so let's say that someone's just qualified to become a nail tech, and at the minute it's taken them 2.5 hours to do a full set plain acrylic. What timing do you think they need to get to realistically? Like, what's their goal? Like, within an hour and a half, within an hour? Do you have a set time aside for a full set?
So I'd say for a full set of acrylics, it will depend on your client, on whether, if they've got lots of cuticle work that needs to be done, what you're working with as well, because if you had a client that came in with really severe bit of nails, it'd probably take you quite a lot longer. But just as like a normal standard, if you was doing a standard set on a healthy, normal hand, I'd say maybe you want to be working towards maybe an hour 15.
An hour 15,
ideally.
which is pretty fast, isn't it?
But that's not going to come until you're doing it every day.
Yeah, of course. Because as well, I suppose I'm kind of thinking, let's say someone's just qualified and they've done the first 10 at a discount. Is it a good idea to go, right, now my prices are the same as the salon down the road, but I do take an hour and 15 longer than they take?
No.
Is it good to kind of not go, you want to be aiming to get to the point where you can put your prices up.
Yeah.
But also with that, you've got to bring your skill set to the point where one that lasts, because retention, I bet, is a thing, isn't it? And then
definitely.
It's all that stuff as well. So how long do you think it takes? It's hard, big question, because it depends how much you put into it. But how long would you give a new nail tech to, once they've qualified, to get fully booked a few weeks in advance? People think it's a quick thing, don't they?
If they're working with me or just anybody?
Just anybody. Feel like they get a bit of a shortcut with you.
Minimum 6 months, maybe.
And again, it depends, doesn't it, how much time they put into it. I've interviewed people and worked with people who have gone from newly qualified to fully booked in a matter of a couple of months. But them are the ones that wake up, work on the stuff till they go to sleep. I've also had people that are like, I've been in the industry for 2 years and I'm not fully booked, because they're half-arsed. They're inconsistent. They haven't put, I had, like, for example, I had somebody ask me a question the other day and she said, oh, I'm doing all the stuff, I'm doing everything I can, I'm following all of this advice and all this training, but I'm just not getting booked up. I went on her socials and she had posted 3 times since April. We're in August.
Right.
I'm like, come on, don't tell me. And then I would get a bit savage with them, because that's just how I coach. But don't tell me, and don't kid yourself that you're doing all the stuff, because you're not. And if you think you are, you're wrong, because you posted 3 times in 4 months.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you've not got any clients in, that's even more of a reason why you should be posting more, because you've got more time.
I think it depends as well what time you post in, because if you post in every night at 10 p.m, nobody's going to see that.
Really,
everyone's gone to bed by, most people are going to bed by that time. But posting once in like
4 months.
4 months is not going to get you the client.
No.
So
you can't moan about it.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, like I say, some people, you see them qualify, and I really think it's a passion thing. I really do. I think them who are really truly passionate they get up and work on the businesses because they want to.
Yeah.
So I kind of look and think, are you really passionate about what you're doing?
I think not only that, I think you've got to have that fire in your belly that always wants more, because I think if you're the type of person that kind of just wants to coast along, this industry, self-employed, is not for you, because you've definitely got to have that fire, something within you that pushes you to get up every day and be like, right, what can I do today? What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing next?
Yeah, I suppose if you want to just coast, right, so I suppose there's two ways you could see this. One way is if you want to just coast along and just minimum effort, chill out, probably go employed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
which is fine if that's what you want to do and that's what you're happy doing, then that's absolutely fine. And then on the other hand, if somebody couldn't stand the thought of working for somebody else, then be self-employed.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is you can still coast along being self-employed, but you're going to have to do all the hard work initially. Because I know girls that are like fully booked now, weeks in advance. They don't post on social media anymore. They're not asked about any goals, but them earning the money because the work they did previously. So it's like, okay, you could get to that stage, but you're still going to have to put the work in to get to that stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What kind of plans do you have? Like, what's next for you? I know you said you want to open your second salon. Then we started talking about something else, didn't we?
Yep. So
second salon.
Next, I'd like to open another salon, preferably in Leeds somewhere, but in a different area to what ours is in now.
So a challenge.
A challenge. Extend the academy, do more training. I don't really know what else I want to do.
Yeah, but they're big things.
Just next focus is the next salon. Yeah, gosh, opening a salon is one of the most stressful things.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing ever goes to plan.
No, you think, I'll be done by this date, and it's never, ever, ever that day. And and I suppose in a different area is going to be a bigger challenge because you've built a reputation in this place, and now it's going to be like, okay, how can I do it in that? But you'll be able to fast forward because you've got all the experience from the last 15 years. And whatnot. Okay. What is one piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring nail tech?
My most important piece of advice would be, if you're just starting, don't be too hard on yourself. Is the most important thing, because I think a lot of the time people will give up because they're so critical on themselves.
Because people are shit at nails to begin with.
When really you just need that time and that practice.
It is. And it's same with lashes. Your first set of lashes will be shit. Your first set of nails will be shit. Your first brows will be shit, but you can't get good until you've done it.
No, you've got to give yourself the time to practice your skill. Just be patient with yourself would be my most.
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think nails is probably one of the hardest skills in the industry to choose.
Oh, it's so underestimated. I think people...
It's got to be.
People watch you do acrylic, see you in this liquid and powder and think, oh yeah, I can pick that up. Actually, one of the girls that I used to work with, we still laugh at this now, she once was having her nails done, and she'll be laughing when she listens to this, and she said, let me have a go. So I thought, all right, whatever. She said it can't be that difficult, so she goes in and she picks this bead up, and I'm trying to talk her through it, because if you're not fast, the bead sets on your brush, and it sets basically like cement, and it's stuck in your brush and it ruins it. So she's having a go and she's going, it can't be that hard, gives it here, let me have a go. And it looked like an icicle. Looked like an icicle, and she did it and she went, oh, I didn't realise it was going to be that difficult. And we laugh about it now, that how easy she thought it was going to be, and it turned out literally looked like an icicle. It is harder than people think.
I picked my sister does lashes, and I said to her once, let me have a go, because she was doing my daughter's lashes. I had these tweezers in my hand, and I was like, how do you use your left hand to do? Could not do it. And I've tried to do nails and stuff in my training academy, not that I teach it, but do you know, you're just like, oh, give it a go. It's hard.
It is harder than it looks. It really is. And I think you're juggling, holding 10 different things, and you're trying to do 10 different things at once, and it's a lot to think about.
I think as well, sometimes you can nail the application, but then they fall off in 3 days. And then you've got, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to go back to the drawing board again. What's your top retention tip?
Top retention tip would be invest in e-file training.
Okay.
E-file training, because if you're trying to, for the nail techs that are listening to this, if you're trying to get in down the cuticle and down the sidewalls with a great big file, it's really hard to get into these corners, and the slightest area that you sort of miss your filing on, buffing the surface shine off, you're then going to get the lifting. And as soon as they get a little bit of lifting, they start picking and the nails in the mouth and they're trying to pop it off. So e-file, because you can get in with the sanding bands.
Right, got it. There we go. So finally, where can our listeners find out more about you or your salon, or maybe someone's listening to this and thinking, I want to go train with her. So you're Leeds, aren't you?
Yep, so we're Leeds. The salon's based in Chapel Allerton. If I was coming out to teach a whole salon, I could travel, that's fine. Instagram, the academy page is Belux Nails Academy.
So BLUXE. Yes, we'll put it on the screen
Nails
and we'll
Academy.
tag you in the description.
My nail page is Beckie Stirk Nails, and the salon is Belux & Co.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast,
Thank you
Beckie.
for having me.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions at the end. These are the what would you do? So I'm going to give you a scenario and then you've just got to say what you would do in that situation, okay? So you've got a client in and you've done her nails and you've painted one nail and she said she's happy with them, happy with the colour. You've finished the last nail, you've got a client waiting in reception and she says, actually, I don't like that colour. What do you do?
So,
You've definitely had this before.
I'm quite known for being quite, I don't know how to put it nicely.
No bullshit.
Yeah, no bullshit. I would say I asked you if you like the colour, you told me yes. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. You'd have to rebook in because
Love that.
I've asked you at that point if you like that colour.
Yeah.
I have had this a few times previously and the client will sort of be like, oh, but I really don't like it. But I asked you.
Yeah.
I showed you and I gave you enough time to have a look and work out, and you were sat going and you said, yeah, it's fine. I've got a client waiting. I'm not going to take, especially if it's gel and you've cured the gel.
Yeah.
And I think the minute that you sort of give in and start filing this colour off, they're going to do it all the time.
Yeah. I agree. I like that.
Yeah.
Savage. I actually went to a nail bar once and I was having a different colour acrylic and he said, do you like it? And I was like, yeah. And then he did about 3 more and I really didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But I thought, I've already said I liked it, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So when we got to the end, rather than him, I just said to him, can I have a colour over these? Instead of, which was not too much of a problem because he was going to have to put the top coat and that on anyway.
Yeah.
So that was fine. But I thought, I am definitely not going to tell him that I actually don't like them.
Yeah.
I hate choosing colours of nails. I always get it wrong.
It's
Always.
the hardest choice.
It's the hardest thing in the world. And then I think, right, so people who are seeing this are going to laugh now, but so I went to the salon not long ago and there was a girl in the salon and she had her toes done and I looked at her toes and I thought, they look really cute. So when they brought me over the colours, I was like, I'll just have them. Babe, look at my fucking toes. They're like a disco ball. I walked out of the...
I actually really like that.
Oh, no. My daughter was like, Mum, what are they like going to Ibiza? And I just feel like my toes look like a disco ball. I've got my daughter's slippers on.
I really like them.
Yeah, well... Anyway, so I always get it wrong. But yeah, no, I think you've got to be really strong in your boundaries. Okay, scenario number 2. What would you do? You have a new client. She's coming into the salon. She's got very, very, very short bitten nails. So it's a challenge to do her nails anyway. But she spends the first 15 minutes of the appointment slagging off her last nail tech to the ground. What do you do?
Oh gosh, I'd want to know why she was so unhappy with her first, because sometimes you will get clients like this, and actually this is the type of client that no matter what you do will not be happy, and no matter who it is, who they've gone to, they could go to the most famous person in the industry and they'll still walk away and pick fault. So sometimes it's because of that, but it also could be that she has genuinely had a really bad experience. So I would be asking lots of questions.
Okay.
Specifically, what was you not happy with? Just outright ask them, what did you not like? Why did you not like it? And then you can sort of weigh up in your head, is this something the nail tech's done, or is this client just
a nightmare
client? Because unfortunately, there is some of them about, and we don't really want those clients.
Have you ever sacked a client?
I have actually.
Have you?
Yeah, I have actually. I have ended up at the end of the appointment saying, I think no matter what I do, you're just not going to be happy. I've had somebody stop me halfway through the service. So she was having acrylics. When you file acrylics, they look a bit frosted because of the file. And she pulled her hand away from me and she went, this isn't what I asked for. And I was like, calm down, I haven't finished. So yeah, I've had that before. I've had to sack somebody before when I've just had to say, I feel like no matter what I do, you're just not going to be happy. And I feel, that I've gone above and beyond for you. I feel that they're perfect. I feel like you're picking fault with me. I've had people take the nail file off me before.
Stop.
Yep. The people that continuously book the appointments and don't show up.
Okay.
I wouldn't even bother sending them a message. I'd just block them on the system because
Yeah.
while ever they're blocking up your system, if they've done it 5, 6, 7 times, just get rid of them because they're just wasting your time.
Yeah, and they don't appreciate your time or
and it's
respect
just sometimes those clients are not worth having.
Yeah, I agree. Becky, thank you so much
you for having
joining
me.
on the podcast. That was very valuable. I know a lot of people who have listened to this or watched this are going to have definitely learned a lot. And thank you for sharing your story. It's very
welcome.
inspiring. And I can't wait to see what you do. We'll tag all of your Instagram and everything like that in the show notes. So hopefully you'll get people messaging you and reaching out to you. And I wish you all the success in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for listening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and leave me a review. You can click on the links in the show notes to follow me on social media, learn more about the guests, and you can also join me on any challenges or masterclasses that I'm hosting that will help you grow your hair, beauty, or aesthetics business.